My Weird School, Fast Facts. Sports. Written by Dan Gutman. Pictures by Jim Pelot. Chapter 10. The Olympics. I hate to break it to you, but the gold medals they give out during the Olympics are not made of gold. And they haven't been made out of gold since 1912. It's true, gold medals are actually made of silver, and they're not even completely made of silver. A gold medal is 93% silver and 6% copper. So let's see. 93 plus 6 equals 99. What about the other 1%? Oh, that's the gold finish. That's what makes the medal look gold. So, if you win a gold medal, you won a silver medal. And if you win a silver medal, you won a silver medal. And there isn't even anything you can dig out of the ground called bronze. Bronze is just a combination of copper and tin. Do you know why the 5 rings on the Olympic flag are yellow, green, red, black, and blue? Neither did I, but I looked it up in my encyclopedia. That's how you learn new things. Those colors were chosen in 1912 because at least one of them appeared in every flag in the world. Oh, and by the way, those 5 rings represent Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, and the Americas. They're linked together on the Olympic flag to show that people all over the world can be joined together in respect for one another. See, you learned something today. Isn't learning new stuff fun? From 1920 up until the 1988 Olympics, live doves were released during opening ceremonies. Oh, it must have been a glorious sight. Hundreds of beautiful white birds flying majestically across the sky to symbolize peace in the world. Unfortunately, at the 1988 Olympics that summer in South Korea, some of the doves decided to fly over to the Olympic torch just as they were lighting it. I don't think I need to tell you what happened next, but they could have served a roast dove at the Olympic snack bar that day. Before 1984, China had not won a single Olympic medal. Just 24 years later, when China hosted the 2008 Olympics, they won 100 medals. They also won more gold medals, 51, than any other nation. Benjamin Franklin was a great American and one of our founding fathers. He also discovered many things about electricity and invented the Franklin stove. What most people don't know is that he also invented flippers, those things you put on your feet to help you swim faster. This is what happened. Ben was out swimming one day and it looked like a storm was coming. He didn't want to get struck by lightning, so he tried to swim really fast so he could get home and warm up in front of his Franklin stove. Okay, I made that last part up, but Benjamin Franklin really did invent swim fins, and he did it when he was just 11 years old. This is what he wrote about it years later. When a youth, I made 2 oval pallets, each about 10 inches long and 6 broad, with a hole for the thumb in order to retain it fast in the palm of my hand. They much resemble the painter's palettes. In swimming, I pushed the edges of these forward, and I struck the water with their flat surfaces as I drew them back. I remember I swam faster by means of these pallets, but they fatigued my wrists. I also fitted to the soles of my feet a kind of sandals, but I was not satisfied with them. because I observed that the stroke is partly given by the inside of the feet and the ankles, and not entirely with the soles of the feet. Swimmers will do anything to swim faster. And I mean anything. Competitive swimmers even shave off their body hair before the race because it allows them to swim just a little bit faster. Races are often decided by hundredths of a second, so the athletes will shave the hair off their arms, legs, back, and chest. Every little bit counts. Some swimmers even shave their hands and feet. Shaving your feet? Now that's weird. I don't care what you shave off. You can shave off your eyelashes. You can shave off your toenails for all I care. You're still not going to swim faster than a sailfish. They are the fastest swimmers in the world. A sailfish can swim 100 meters in less than 5 seconds. That's about 10 times as fast as the fastest human being. Not only can sailfish swim really fast, they can also change the color of their body to confuse predators. So a sailfish can be gray 1 minute, and as soon as some shark or something starts chasing it, the sailfish can turn blue and go hide behind an underwater bush or something and say, "You can't catch me, shark, na 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 boo boo." Sailfish are cool. Weird Olympic sports. You think synchronized swimming, biathlon, and curling are weird Olympic sports? Back in 1908, tug-of-war was an Olympic sport. Yes, teams would pull on each end of a rope trying to drag the other team past a line. Think that's weird? There used to be an Olympic sport called swimming obstacle course. In the 1900 Olympics, swimmers had to swim under boats, climb across a row of boats, and climb over a pole to reach the finish line. Think that's weird? The same year, live pigeon shooting was an Olympic sport. Almost 300 birds were killed. Think that's weird? Rope climbing was an Olympic sport from 1896 until 1932. Yes, guys would race to climb up ropes. Think that's weird? Club swinging was an Olympic sport in 1904. The athlete would hold a club that looked like a bowling pin in each hand. Then he would swing them around. Points would be awarded for how well he did it and how complicated his movements were. Think that's weird? You're right, it was. That's why they got rid of all those dumb sports. Henry Pearce of Australia was a real animal lover. During the 1928 Olympics in Amsterdam, he stopped rowing in the middle of his race so a family of ducks could pass in front of his boat. Even so, Pearce still won the gold medal. I think the ducks should have won. At the Olympic Games in 1900, there were more athletes than spectators. Sometimes you just get tired. In 1904, an American named Fred Lors won the Olympic marathon. Or it seemed that way at first. Then it was discovered that he'd stopped running after 9 miles and hopped into an official's car for the next 11 miles. Unfortunately for Lors, the car broke down, and the poor guy actually had to finish the race on foot. That would have been weird if he reached the finish line in a car. Lors was banned for life by the Amateur Athletic Union. But then he apologized and all was forgiven. The next year, he won the Boston Marathon fair and square. The founder of the modern Olympic Games is a French guy named Berdon Pierre de Coubertin. He must have really liked art. At the 1900 Olympics in Paris, the first place winners didn't get medals. They were awarded, are you ready for this? Paintings! But this, fast fact, is even more amazing. In 1912, an arts competition was added to the Olympic Games. That's right, they gave Olympic medals for art. And guess who won the gold medal for literature? It was Berdon Pierre de Coubertin. He wrote a poem titled Ode to Sport. If you ask me, they should have given him the Nobel Prize. That's a prize they give out to people who don't play sports. Before he became the world-famous boxer Muhammad Ali, he was just a scared 18-year-old named Cassius Clay. Clay hated flying, and when he found out that he would have to fly to Italy in order to box in the 1960 Olympics, Clay asked if he could take a boat there instead. His coach talked him into flying, but Clay was so nervous that he bought a parachute from an army surplus store and wore it during the entire flight to Rome. In just one day at the 1904 Olympics, American gymnast George Acer won 6 medals, including 3 golds. That was amazing in itself. But that's not even the amazing part of the story. The most amazing part was that Acer only had 1 leg. His left one had to be amputated after it was run over by a train. Johnny Weissmuller was one of the greatest swimmers in Olympic history. He won 5 gold medals at the 1924 and 1928 Games. But that's not what made him famous. After his Olympic career was over, he went to Hollywood and became a movie star playing Tarzan, a boy who was raised by apes in the African jungle. Weissmuller starred in a dozen Tarzan movies, including Tarzan the Ape Man, Tarzan's Secret Treasure, Tarzan's New York Adventure, Tarzan and the Leopard Woman, and Tarzan and the Mermaids. In the ancient Olympics in Greece, only men were allowed to participate, and all the athletes performed in the nude. Ugh, gross, disgusting. I think I'm gonna throw up. But it's true. In fact, the word gymnasium comes from the Greek word gymnos, which means naked. I guess those guys saved a lot of money on sweatpants and t-shirts and underwear. Do you think you could win an Olympic medal? A 10-year-old boy won a medal in the 1896 Olympics in Athens, Greece. His name was Demetrius Lundras. He was a gymnast, competing in the team parallel bars event. Demetrius won a bronze medal, making him the youngest person in the history of the world to win an Olympic medal. He grew up to become an admiral in the Greek Navy, and he was also the last living athlete from the 1896 Olympics. Demetrius died in 1971. Some athletes fly to get to the Olympics. Some take trains, boats, or cars. But in 1896, Carlo Airoli walked to the Olympics. That's right. Airoli was a marathon runner for Italy, so he walked from Milan to Greece, which is more than 1,000 miles. But then the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. Somebody found out that Airoli had accepted a prize for winning another race, so he was not an amateur and not allowed to compete in the Olympics. He walked 1,000 miles only to find out that he had been disqualified. Bummer in the Summer Olympics.